What's going on, Pokemon trading card game fans? Welcome to episode 26 of Special Conditions Podcast, where our love for Pokemon and collecting collide. Today is February 24th, 2020. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Tuttle, joined by my co-host as always, Josh Brown.
What's up, Adam? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. We had an excellent weekend for the TCG.
Did we?
We did. You might not have heard, but the Oceania International Championships went down this weekend.
Ooh, are you gonna tell me all about it?
Well, we're gonna chat about it.
Okay, perfect.
But it was our first tournament with Sword and Shield legal, so
Big stuff.
this is kind of where the meta game and where everything starts, and then we build on it and create counters for everything. And oh man, I'm super excited.
I can tell.
So, anyways, on today's show, we are going to talk about the Pokemon Oceania International Championships, just like I said.
Mm-hmm.
Josh has got a question. He wants to know something about the TCG community at large.
Yep.
And we have a card of the week. This week is Cramoranting V from Sword and Shield.
I cannot wait to hear about this card.
I can wait to hear about it.
Oh.
Until, later on in the show.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, we're going to talk about it anyways.
Yeah.
A little earlier. But, so we're going to jump right in. The Oceania Championships happened in Australia this past weekend. This is coming straight from Pokemon.com. But did you see the stream at all?
I did not. No, I honestly didn't really know it was happening. So I know, Adam.
So I failed.
Sorry.
I failed. I didn't let you know. I wasn't jumping down your throat.
Yeah.
I also was working, so
that's fair.
I was like, and it was really busy. We at work we made over day, so we made like double the amounts like both days. We've had really good days the past couple of days.
But busy
That's all I'm
days.
gonna say. But we definitely had the tournament going on. It was amazing to just, and it was nice that like it would start at like 5 o'clock in the night time for us.
Where was this actually taking place?
In Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Oceania International Championships doesn't tell me anything about where it's located.
yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right.
But yeah, it's in Australia.
Okay.
And so like the time zone, when we're waking up, it's their morning time. Like
Right.
they've already had their morning.
Yep.
So it was nice to be able to relax and enjoy it at a reasonable time.
Do people travel internationally for these tournaments, or do they try to? Is it mostly like the regional players?
No, there's like a solid group of players that are seen at every event.
Okay,
because that's what they do.
Yeah.
But so just all this information is coming from Pokemon.com.
Okay.
But I mean, I've also checked out limitlesstcg.com and seen all the lists and all the decks that were being used.
Okay.
But it said 130 players were using a Zacian V variant to make up about a third of the entire tournament.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
Yeah. Well, people are excited about the new cards.
Yeah, no wonder why it was, $70 for the gold one.
Yep.
Somebody wanted that flex deck because they knew it was good.
Heck yeah.
And it said half the players that made it to day 2 were actually playing the Zacian V deck.
Wow.
Well, so, and then they go on to say like about ADP and how that is basically the main focus with Zacian.
Mm-hmm.
But they talk about Tim Bartels. He brought a Galarian Obstagoon to the top 4.
Oh, really? Okay.
The only one in the 48 or 47, decks that are on Limitless TCG.
Mm-hmm.
There was only one. And this guy made it all the way to the top 4 with it.
That's
and I watched multiple games, and like the addition of Virizion G it has, I believe the attack is Breeze Away, but it allows you to pick up any number of your Pokemon and put them back into your hand.
Okay.
So you play Zigzagoon, 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 Zigzagoon,
Right.
place 4 damage counters, attach an energy, and then Breeze Away and pick them all back up.
Why would you want to do that?
To be able to play them down again and put more damage on the board.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And the Obstagoon does you get to place 3 damage counters.
Gotcha.
So having multiple like the evolutions and being able to like work around all that stuff, it was really cool. And
That's
then
rad.
with that, he was playing the Mimikyu that stops any abilities that have damage counters on them that were GXs.
Okay.
So he used that in combination. Also, he was playing a Yveltal GX. So that says if your opponent's Pokemon has 4 damage counters on it, it's just automatically knocked out.
Okay.
So if you get 4 Zigzagoons down, the 1 Darkness Energy, knock out a tag team, boom.
Cool.
It's such a cool deck.
Sure. Sounds like it. I like the weird decks like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like the fan favorite. I think most people were hoping that this deck could take the whole thing,
Sure.
but it didn't.
Close.
Unfortunately. And then you have James Williams, who took Cinchino Mill to top 4. And watching this deck, it was just like, it was so annoying. and I know that I'm gonna have to face this in my next tournament that I go to. I'm just gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And then we had Zach Lesage. He came in second with like a straight fire deck. He was playing the Ninetales that you discard 2 fires and you could bring up whatever Pokemon you want. So like no need for catchers or anything like that.
Right.
He's playing Victini V, Heatran GX, Turtonator, just a bunch of like a big box with I think like 18 fires.
That's cool.
It was a crazy deck. He just didn't get too lucky on the draws. He drew into like a lot of just his hand was basically just fire energies.
Right.
During like the final match.
Ugh. He just got stuck. Just
Yeah.
throttled down.
Yep. And Nico Alibis, he won the whole thing with Mewtwo Mew GX tag team with like
Shocking.
a welder style build.
Shocking.
Right? Shocker.
Yeah.
It had welder in it. Well, both decks had welder in it.
Yeah.
So proving that it doesn't even matter them taking away the first turn rule. Welder is still super powerful.
That's crazy.
And so, listening to the Super Effective podcast, they were talking about Kramer Ant and how basically it was like the Dedenne killer, which makes sense. This card was like made to take out Dedennes. It does 160 damage for 3 energies to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Now, It's also weak to lightning. And pretty much most of the electric decks, actually all of the electric decks, they run Dedenne.
Right.
So it's like one of those cards you don't want to set down because then it's a free 2 prizes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it was null and void. Some matchups I'm sure they got off, but not a single Kramer Ant made it to day 2.
Well, poor Kramer.
Right? And like this is where Mewtwo Mew would rather opt to play the Naganadel GX that has what's the attack? The Venom Shock attack, because it does 170 versus Kramer Ants 160.
Right.
So dealing that extra 10 is like pretty powerful. And then also if that wasn't strong enough, if they're able to get their energies right, they can use Megalophony and Jigglypuff's Tag Team GX, their Puffy Smashers GX attack. It does 200 damage to a bench Pokemon and leaves their active Pokemon asleep.
Okay.
So like there's better ways than Cramoranting,
Right.
is what I'm getting at.
Sure.
But it's not that Cramoranting isn't good. It just doesn't have its place yet.
It's not being used correctly yet.
Well, it's not that it's not being used correctly. It's just, I think it just doesn't have a time to shine right now.
Sure. That's fair.
All right. And so moving on.
So let me ask you a question about this. Where does the V and the VMax cards fit into the meta after this tournament? Like, if the Mewtwo Mew GX tag team is still winning tournaments, like, how long is it going to be before the new cards, the new powerful cards, start to overtake the meta?
I'd say like another set or two.
Yeah.
Because right now the tag team has its own engine. So it's like those are still a force to be reckoned with.
Mm-hmm.
And like Mewtwo has the ability to copy pretty much anything that can deal damage. You know, like it does 300 damage with the Reshiram Charizard attack. So
Right.
it's like they can one-shot pretty much anything. But once these V and VMAX Pokemon start reaching those upwards of, 3-something hit points, which I mean, there already are. It's just there's no support cards to guarantee that those cards will stay. I mean, honestly, there's it's like a charm, and it allows your Pokemon to have 30 extra hit points. Mm-hmm. So it's like maybe people weren't utilizing that with the VMAX, but that's a way to prevent it from being one-shotted by a Mewtwo.
Okay.
But I think they just have to find their place to be able to withstand.
Okay. That's fair.
But where, Mewtwo has so much versatility, like that's really what it has.
Sure.
It has the ability to just kind of like do whatever in whatever situation, which is why it was able to take the entire tournament.
Right. Yeah, I get that. I'm just curious from an outsider's perspective, like how long it takes for the meta to actually change in a significant way. Like sure, some of these got top 4 or whatever, but
well, like we're like right now we're at like a weird shift where we have
old
V
stuff
cards
is still relevant and the new stuff is trying to be
right. Like we have V cards, but we don't have any way to pull them from the bench to the active, except for custom catchers.
Right.
Or utilizing something like the Fion with the Whirlpool suction.
Sure.
So it's just like...
So there's just not enough different new cards out there yet to really make
and
a
we're
difference.
like I said, we're in like this weird, awkward middle spot where they're not Vs, they're not GXs, so things that say like, oh, prevent GX attacks, like that has nothing to do with a V card. So
right.
And then like vice versa, like there's cards that do stuff in benefit to EXs or GXs, but there's nothing for Vs yet.
Right. Nothing to amplify them or
exactly
to boost them up in any way. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Well, hopefully they start putting out some more sets, huh?
Yep. Well, there's another set coming out shortly. So I can't wait for that. But let me actually get this set collected 100% before they do that. Come on.
Yeah. Well,
hold off another couple weeks.
They don't ever slow down.
No, they don't. They're like, oh, what? You said slow down? Speed up? That's all. Yep. All right. All right.
Go.
Joe in marketing. Let them know. We got another set coming shortly. Just, they said they want it now. Oh, they haven't finished collecting any of the Sword and Shield set? All right, we're going for Sword and Shield 2. All right. Frank, did you get all that?
Got it.
Over and out. Good to go. All right, so the next set confirmed. Next week. No, not really.
Feels
thanks
like
thanks for letting me go off the rails there for a second.
It's okay. Bring it back.
All right, Josh, you got a question of the week today?
Oh, I was first before we get to that. Did you pick up anything this week?
No.
Oh, okay.
I bought a couple packs, but I opened it on Insta Booster and got nothing, and then I just opened a pack on Gotta Watch Them All 85 or 86, 85, the Crystal Onyx, listen to that to see what I pull, but
Ooh.
I can't guarantee that it's anything good.
Okay, so don't listen to that episode.
Well, I mean, you can listen to the podcast. Just stop
specifically-
it at the packs.
Yeah. Don't listen to it just to get excited about what you pulled.
Right.
Yeah. Can I talk about what I pulled this week, Adam?
You can talk about whatever you'd like.
Okay, because I did open up an entire booster box of Shield and Sword.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
What did you pull?
So my lovely Val and I, we sat down Saturday, I think it was, Saturday evening, watching a movie. We watched Anchorman and opened up some Pokemon cards. Good times. Entire booster box of Shield and Sword. Several V cards, but I will say this, Adam. The excitement of opening cards is forever tainted because of Hidden Fates.
Yes.
There's nothing more disappointing than just opening up a pack of nonsense. You know? It's just sad. But got some decent pulls nonetheless. Basically what it came down to, like I said, I got several V cards. I got another Pokemon that shall not be named V card because it's not a real Pokemon anymore. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back a couple episodes, folks, and you'll know.
I forgot the name. I think it's like an anchor or something. I can't
it-
remember the name.
It's really nothing.
It doesn't
actually.
exist anymore, right?
No,
So
yeah, just forget I even said anything about that card because it's junk.
and watch
it's nothing.
that Pokemon that we wipe from existence.
Uh-huh.
It'll probably become really good too.
Perfect. Well, I got a couple of them already. So I got a Lapras V. I'm looking through here. Plenty of hollows. I got a Wobbuffet V, which, man, I just love looking at that card. It's so goofy and it's smiling. It's happy. It's living its best life, Adam. You know. Shout out
yeah.
to Wobbuffet. But basically, by the end of the box, I realized, I got a Snorlax V, which is a really cool card. Not the VMax, just the V, but still. I discovered that my box was essentially a Stonejourner box. In one booster box, Adam, I got a Stonejourner V. I got a Stonejourner V Max. And I got the Stonejourner V Full Art.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all. It's a beautiful card. It is sexy.
I've opened like a box and a half with all the packs that I've purchased, and like I still have yet to pull a VMax of Stonejourner.
Yeah, it's a nice
Actually,
card.
I don't own a VMax Pokemon.
Oh?
If anybody out there can believe that. I don't own a VMax Pokemon.
Yeah, the Stonejourners, man, it's all up in your face in the VMax card. It's like, bah, eat my cement blocks. But yeah, I was after we were done opening all the packs and we were looking at all the pulls, I was like, man, we got a lot of Stonejourners in this box. This is weird.
So you didn't get any hyper rares or gold cards?
No.
Whoa.
The
So
full
how
art
many hits did you
Stonejourner.
have altogether?
I mean, are we counting the V cards?
Yes, all the
as
V
hits?
cards.
I think 7 or 8 total
Okay, that's not bad.
out of 36. Yeah, no hyper rares, which bummed me out. No golds, but
Yeah, these boxes have been like super random.
yeah. 2 quick balls, not the gold quick ball.
Just
but-
two. Because why would they give you 4 in a box?
'cause
They want
know
to
you're
keep
gonna
that
use
card
it.
at $5 a card. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I got 2, so not the best booster box. Like, I still had fun opening them. There's some holes in the set, obviously. A few of the rares, whatever. But, like, yeah, like, I don't think I'm ever going to feel the way I felt with Hidden Fates opening cards again.
I know. We got to get over that, though.
I'm trying.
There will be more packs. We
I'm
will
just gonna
still have to
keep
open them.
going through booster box after booster box until I find that high again. Anyway, that was what I picked up this week.
You're going to have to keep searching.
Yeah. I see what you did there. Okay, I have a question.
All right. I will try to have an answer.
Okay. Yeah, this This may go deeper. This may be multifaceted. This may even be like an ongoing discussion. But I had something more lighthearted. But then I listened to your and Ken's episode of Lured Up, the most recent one that you guys did, where you guys were talking about the girls that PvP hashtag and the quote unquote controversy that there is. Like, it's essentially just a bunch of jerks that are upset that women, girls, females, ladies
yes,
play Pokemon Go and PvP battle and whatnot. It's a great discussion. You guys handled it well. I was super impressed with you two and how you did with the discussion. I was even more impressed with how many women came forward to you both with emails and voicemails, like talking about their stories and why something like this exists and why it's important and why diversity and inclusion is important and why it matters and all that good stuff. Like, it was great to hear. It was refreshing to know that, like, not know, but like, I know that I'm podcasting with a good dude, but like now everybody else gets to know it too,
Yeah.
You and Ken are awesome, and you guys are fighting the good fight, and you're definitely a voice for a part of the community that needs to be heard and deserves it. So I applaud you, but that got me thinking about our podcast, and I was curious what the state of the Pokemon trading card game community is like, as far as welcoming women, welcoming minorities, welcoming people of color, welcoming all facets of life into the community. Is it like a
so
bros
all
club?
facets of life, I will say positive.
Okay.
I haven't met somebody that like was new to the game that kind of didn't know probably one of my favorite things is when a new player plays against me.
Okay.
And it's like they kind of don't know what they're doing, and me, it'll be at like a league cup or something, or
Right.
not like a league cup, but a league challenge or something, where the stakes aren't so high.
Mm-hmm.
But I get so much enjoyment trying to like teach them. Like, it's no, I haven't seen it where people are like, okay, no, all right, my turn, okay, my turn. Like, I'm sure there are people that do that, but
Right.
from my perspective, if somebody like that comes up to me and like we're paired up against each other, I'm gonna walk you through every step like I do, my son.
Sure.
Did you draw a card? And it just kind of like, oh, like, you could see where, oh, if you're going to make a mistake, like, oh, if you attack me, like, you should be attaching the extra energy to the bench instead of, wasting it on the active type deal. Like, I would walk them through so they, like, learn something out of it versus, and I'm always welcoming like that. So, I mean, it's definitely within this game is a lot of people are welcoming, especially to new players. Because at the end of the day, we don't usually have a lot of people to play test with.
Sure.
Leagues aren't, like the best
Right.
to get, and that's honestly, I started playing this game with my friends. They were like, oh, let's buy structure decks and hang out. And that's how it started.
Right.
We started a league and it blew up bigger than we ever thought it would. And it was just a lot of fun. And everybody was welcoming, even though we all kind of really didn't know the rules.
Right.
And that's what kind of kept me, is that everybody was so nice and so like welcoming, pretty much how the Pokemon Go community is as well. And Pokemon community in general is very welcoming.
Yeah.
And with that being said, as far as like ladies go, I mean, we just had a 7-year-old girl win the Oceania International Championships for the VGC.
Nice. That's
so
awesome.
I mean, they do have a presence.
Sure. But are they welcome? Like, is there Is there backlash? Is there? I mean, is the nastiness that we're here?
It hurts me to have to say that. Yeah.
Okay, that's why I'm asking. I don't know any of this, so.
And it's a good topic to talk about because, you know, for a lot of the tournaments that I go to, it's usually like, you know, it's somebody's girlfriend that's, you know, just learning how to play but they're just having fun, you know, like they, you know, bring whatever deck they want, and everybody kind of like, you know, it's like lighthearted, like laughing with them, like, oh yeah, you're playing a grass deck in like a field of fire, you know,
right.
But it's just like that's what they want to play. They want to have fun, and like sometimes that isn't always like accepted.
Sure.
You know, like, oh, why are you playing that?
Yeah. So you do see the toxicity in these tournaments.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it mainly directed towards females?
Well, to put it this way, I never have seen like a group of girls walk in and just like own the place, basically.
Sure.
I've never seen like just I don't know if I've never, but I mean, it's rare that like just a girl just walks in and just kind of like signs up for the tournament and then starts to play.
Right.
It's usually a field of guys. You know, like I said, like sometimes somebody's girlfriend will show up, or, you know, a mom will play.
Right. Do you feel it's like that because it is uncomfortable? Like,
yeah, because the guys are so, you know, with each other, and it's like it's heavily competitive. And it shouldn't be. It should be very welcoming.
Absolutely, it should be. Didn't a girl win in one of the divisions for the World Championships list? At the Worlds, wasn't there a female winner from one of the divisions?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think so. Maybe I'm making that up, but I thought so. Which is awesome. Like that's fantastic. I guess in my head I could see where there would be the toxic masculinity culture at these tournaments.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and like I know from, you know, experience, I've seen, you know, players kind of like, you know, there might be one girl that shows up and it's like, okay, she's pretty, but like, and then everybody just kind of wants, like, they kind of like almost like lose focus because they just want to talk to her.
Sure.
Because it's unusual.
Yeah. Which sucks because it shouldn't be.
Right, exactly. And that's kind of like, you know, that's my point of view on it.
Have you ever witnessed anything that was like blatant, like to the point where like tournament directors or enforcers or whatever like had to like step in and like resolve an issue, or is it so passive in the nonsense that it just gets overlooked by everybody?
I believe it just kind of gets overlooked by everybody involved because it's,
which is a problem.
Yeah, I've never seen it get out of hand.
Yeah. Is there a way to fix this?
To have more girls play? I just know that, like, you know, there are people like myself that, you know, are welcoming.
Yeah.
And I don't judge anybody. Like, that's literally like my job is, you know, I'm not supposed to judge anybody, and I don't, because somebody can look like, you know, they walk in with, you know, paint all over themselves. They look like they rolled around the mud for a bit. You know, they walk in and they're the person to buy like the $10,000 engagement ring, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And it's so I just treat everybody exactly the same.
Right. I got thinking about how several weeks ago we had that news story about that the mom that was there with her daughter who had never played Pokemon card game before.
Yes, at the pre-release.
Yeah, and like ended up like coming in really high, and you know, and I started thinking about it, and I'm like, did I frame that in a way to where I was congratulating her because she was a woman, and like I thought that was cool because of that, or did I frame it in the way of like she had never played this before and came in and kicked butt? Because then I started to feel bad. I'm like, I really hope I didn't come across as, celebrating that, like, this woman came into this tournament.
No. You came across 110% that it was just like, didn't know how to play. It was endearing that, everybody was so welcoming. Yeah. And again, they were all welcoming.
Could have been a mother, father, aunt, uncle. It wouldn't have mattered. Just this newbie came in, regardless of age, sex, gender, whatever.
Exactly.
Came in and kicked butt. So, okay. I wanted to make sure that I set that straight, and I wasn't trying to, passively promote something that shouldn't.
No, no. And then like me thinking back to it, I'm just like, oh man, it was just a pre-release.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, I just sounded so. I sounded awful.
No.
If anybody should be apologizing, it's me.
No. Okay.
Because it's like you learned the game, you're learning, and you were able to take knockouts and play the game better than somebody else. I mean, sometimes it's the luck of the draw, especially in a pre-release, but still, like, you're able to take all 4 prizes every single game.
Heck yeah.
That means something.
Celebrate the accomplishment. Not
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of pre-release.
Yeah.
The store owner happened to be like around where I worked.
Yeah.
Kind of like stopped in, apologized. He's like, I owe you some packs.
No way.
He said, he was doing inventory or something, and they're like, yeah, this box was supposed to be for prize support. And not like one of his employees was saying like that box was supposed to be for prize support. It's not on the inventory sheet.
What? Are you kidding me?
And all in my heart, I was like, because it was like I was in the middle of like I was working, I was with a customer, so it was kind of like I was like, okay, I appreciate that, but and in my head I'm like, it's not me, like I mean, it's like my son that you need to apologize to. It's all the other families that were there that you need to apologize to. I won't feel right unless all of the people involved that day got the packs that they deserved.
Sure.
Because they don't know any better.
Right.
Especially if that was their first event.
Yep.
And for at least one father and daughter, that was their first event.
Right.
And to see that happen, it just breaks my heart.
Yeah. Well.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I have to go in there. I didn't plan on going in there. I don't necessarily want to.
Right.
But if he just shows up again and brings me packs, like, cool.
Well, I mean, there's some silver lining in there, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, but I did email, Pokemon, so.
Right. You think
I don't know
got wind of that?
That had something to do, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Look, if he's trying to right the wrong, then I mean,
that's all that matters. Yeah.
Maybe some people got burned this time, but I mean, hopefully going forward, other people don't. So you gotta look at it like that, Adam.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So back to my question. Like, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what I was really looking for. I guess I'm more curious, like, if there are women out there that have played, if they've played tournaments. Like, I want to know about your experiences.
There are like they're not like a plethora, but I mean there are several women in the actual competitive TCG scene that do very, very, very well.
Yeah. Oh, I bet they are. Yeah. But I'm talking to like our listening audience right now. Like, I want to hear those stories. Like, I want to know what's wrong, and I want to be part of starting to try to fix this as much as we possibly can. Because, I mean, if I, as a white, cis, straight male, feels uncomfortable going to these tournaments and going to these events to play this game, like, there has to be way more people out there that feel even more uncomfortable for myriad of reasons. So, like, let's collectively, like, as a community, let's start trying to, like, make things better, like, in the smallest way possible. But sometimes small things can turn into big change.
Yeah, and it's something simple as just like, you see somebody alone, and I've seen this many times at just league challenges, league cups, at leagues in general. You see just somebody like kind of like just standing there or like just sitting down by themselves, kind of like looking at their cards. Go say hi to them.
Yeah.
Offer to trade with them. Like, oh, hey, do you want to trade? Like, it's just it's little things that make people feel more comfortable. Definitely. And it's like, oh, do you want to play a game real quick? And they're like, oh, okay, my deck's not really good. And then you just say, well, okay, well, let's take a look at it, and help them out. If their deck isn't, up to par or like has cards from previous sets, like see if you can update them, like help them out.
Yeah.
But,
cool.
Yeah, definitely just kind of.
Let's keep this discussion going, folks.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't want to stop here, but this is the start. This is the open door.
But kindness matters. Kindness goes a long way, and the little things matter.
Absolutely.
Just always remember that.
Yep.
And with that, we're going to take a quick break here. Then we'll come back. We'll talk about a Cramorant.
Yes.
All right, thanks, guys. We are back from our break. Just a little housekeeping. This podcast is powered by Patreon. You can check ours out at patreon.com/PokemonProfessor, where you can support the show for as little as $1 a month. That $1 will get you access to our Patreon exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. And I want to give a very huge, special thanks to our executive producer, Adrian Briones.
Absolutely.
Couldn't do this without you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
And if Patreon isn't your thing, there are a few other ways you can help us out. If you are listening to us on YouTube, you can subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and if you're listening via a podcast service like Apple Podcasts or Stitcher, you can take a moment to leave us a review. It would be fantastic. Thank you, guys. All right. Cramorant V.
Da da da. Let's hear about this goofy bird.
Have you played any Sword and Shield?
I have, yes.
Have you played with Cramorant?
It's annoying.
It is so annoying.
And I love it so much because it's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
But it's so good. So, our card of the week is Cramorant V.
Mm-hmm.
It's a basic Pokemon sitting at a whopping 200 hit points.
Yeah.
Where a lot of GXs, just basic GXs, 170, 160, 180, 190, 200, pretty impressive. And it's a colorless Pokemon. It's got a weakness to lightning ×2, and it's got a resistance to fighting. So -30 to fighting, and it's a 1 retreat cost. So overall, the looks of this card, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of looks dumb. It's kind of like jumping out of the card at you. But it doesn't seem too bad. I mean, it's got a high hit point, good resistance, even better retreat cost. For 1 energy, it's called Beak Catch. Search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Awesome setup card. Probably most likely won't be using that because, reset stamp, Marnie. There's other ways for people to kind of get rid of those cards. Right. But it's also, if they don't, that's a huge advantage. And then its second shot, oh my goodness, its second attack, Spit Shot for 3 colorless. This is like the moneymaker. This is the reason this card exists. It says discard all energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 160 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Don't apply weakness or resistance to bench Pokemon.
Yeah.
So this thing can one-shot a Dedenne GX, like we said earlier in the show.
Right.
And it can pretty much take out any non-GX support Pokemon. So your Ninetales, your Quagsires, your Naganadels. But other than that, it doesn't do a lot of damage.
Right.
So if you can tech in a Kramer Ant and use Zigzagoons surrounding it, you can potentially build up enough damage on the bench to be able to take that one shot.
Okay.
So, and there are ways, and I know that there's a new card coming out in the next, I don't know if it's the next set or the set after that, but I do know that it's like Super Scoop Up. It's like Scoop Away or something like that, and you're allowed to pick up a Pokemon that's not a GX or a V without flipping a coin.
Okay.
So Zigzagoon, and then you have 4 of those in your hand. You play Zigzagoon, scoop up, play Zigzagoon, scoop up, play Zigzagoon, scoop up, play Zigzagoon. So essentially, if you had all 4 of those and a Zigzagoon, you place 50 damage counters down. And then you do Spit Shot. That's, what is that? That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 210. 210?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm terrible with math. But so like there's going to be big plays with the newer cards. So this card only gets powerfuler or more powerful the longer it's out. So I say don't sleep on Kramer Ant. Get one now. Get 2 maybe. They're cheap. They're like $2.20 right now on TCGplayer.com.
Yeah. Get them now before everybody starts wanting them, like the quick balls.
Right, and it's just one of those, like, see it, know that it's going to be better, and keep it in your binder.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even go for the full art. I think it's only $1 more.
Worth it, folks.
It's totally worth it.
Yeah. Cool. Cramoranting.
Cramoranting. But yeah, it's a Pokemon V, so it gets knocked out, lose 2 prizes.
Yeah, well, but imagine what it can do if given the opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like lightning Pokemon, they'll be increasingly coming into the format. We still have the Moripeko VMax. We're getting Bolt Hound. We've got Tapu Koko. I think we're getting Toxicity next, and Toxicity VMax, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, there's lightning Pokemon coming to the format. And I can almost guarantee you that decks that are fighting will be becoming more prevalent. So, Cramoranting will find like a weird middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll definitely be something to keep an eye on.
Cool stuff, man.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
So we also got two emails.
All right, let's hear them.
All right, the first one is from Scott Tiller.
Hey, Scott.
He said, "Hey, fellas, still digging the podcast. Just wanted to give you an extra." Oh, hold on.
Give you
I totally
an
messed that
extra.
up. Yeah. He said, "Hey, fellas, still digging the podcast. Just wanted to give you an extra pat on the back for keeping me pumped on Pokemon throughout my workday. I may or may not have already told you in a previous email about taking my daughter to Sword and Shield pre-release, which we enjoyed. Since then, my Malamar deck is coming along nicely, and I've attended a local Pokemon TCG play day, and it was a mostly success, winning my first round, but then got milled for 2 rounds straight. Boring. But hey, everyone has their style. I watched every match from the Oceania International in my home country of Australia. Oh, cool. And thanks to podcasts like yours and local events I've attended, I could understand the commentators and games and thoroughly through the entire event live stream. So thanks for fueling my fire and keeping it real. Keep them coming."
Thanks, Scott.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That sounds fun.
And see, we were just talking about that. So awesome. Keep bringing your daughter.
Yes.
As long as she loves it, keep bringing her.
Right.
Let her have fun. And I'm so
push
glad
her to
that
be
you're
the very
able to-
best, and then ride her
exactly.
coattails all the way to victory.
And I mean, like,
I'm kidding. Don't do that.
And it's just awesome that, like, you know, you're going to these events.
Yeah.
And that we were able to help you, you know, in getting there. We really appreciate that. Glad you're having fun. Mill decks are scary. I don't know if you played in a tournament that had Sword and Shield legal, but if you did, I'm assuming that that's what the mill decks were. You probably played 2 of them in Chino Mill. That is boring. I forget. Somebody posted a picture on Twitter of, I think it was Danny Altavia. He like did like the anti-mill starter kit, and it was like 1 Faba, 1 Orangaroo, 1 Giraffe Rig, and then 2 Crushing Hammers.
Mm-hmm.
And that basically, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 spots. If you can fit it in the deck, or at least like a couple of those to be able to counter that deck, you should be able to beat it.
Cool.
And I watched this entire stream, and well, as much of it as I could, I missed a lot of the day one, like the first matches, and I really wish that I was able to see a lot of the stuff that like didn't make it, you know?
Right.
But yeah. Thanks for writing in. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And I apologize. I have to read this because Ken sent it to me in a message.
It's a little wonky, but hey, you'll get through it.
Says, hello. I discovered the podcast a couple weeks ago and have now caught up with all the episodes. I started getting into Pokemon along with my daughter, who is 8, now this time last year. I'm a huge Star Wars fan and collector mainly, but I got into Pokemon Go shortly after it was released, but super casually. Last year, when my daughter got a Pokemon card as a prize at a school, she began watching season 1 of the anime. She asked for a Build-A-Bear Pikachu, which came with a card when she got it. We decided to buy a Sun and Moon trainer kit to learn how to play, which we did. My wife also learned how to play too. I really wish I had this podcast at that time, as it would have been great to have a guide. Even a year later, we are novices and only play at home, but find the questions of the week helpful and the answers and explanations of cards as well. We have wanted to check out our local PTCG. Sorry, hold on. Now I got to get to the next picture.
Sorry, folks.
We have wanted to check out our local PTCG league, but have had anxiety about it. However, Adam, your description of how they operate gave me the courage to take my daughter for the first time today. She had an absolute blast and made some new friends, and I also played a couple of trainers. My wife also played, and we picked up some cool freebies, and I picked up a Hollow Marnie card to add to my deck. So thank you guys for giving me the tools to become a better Poke parent and trainer myself. I love the show, and you guys are doing the world a solid. I think we will be going every week now, as my daughter can't wait to go back. Side note,
rad.
We are on season 3 of the anime now, and thanks to Josh's enthusiasm, I may now begin to hunt for my own shiny Charizard.
Yes. Do it.
And I don't have the name on there, but we really appreciate you. Oh, hold on, I found it. Yes. Henry Prado? Henry?
Hey. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for writing in. Jeez. I don't know what to say.
Keep being an awesome parent.
Yeah, keep being an awesome parent. I'm so glad that your daughter wants to go back. That's so exciting. I would stick with that league. And if that league has league challenges, those are, I believe, the smallest and most low-key tournaments. But I think you should start there as far as tournaments if you wanted to get involved with the tournament scene. Pre-releases are a lot of fun. I'm not sure if you've been to those. But I'm sure that your local shop that does the league most likely should have them. So I hope you can get involved with one of those. But it's awesome to hear that, you know, you're playing other trainers, you're having a blast, your daughter's making friends. Like, that's what it's about.
Yeah,
that is
absolutely
what it's about.
Yeah.
And like, I know when my son went, like, I don't even think he played his last match. I think they just kind of like talked.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the time ran out, they were like, I don't know what we do. So
you won.
yeah, right. Let's flip a coin. But yeah, it's just, this game's amazing. The community's amazing. Just, and as long as you guys are pumping positivity into the system,
mm-hmm.
that's all you'll get out of the system is positivity.
Yeah.
Because we're just trying to make the whole community at large better.
Yep. It's so nice to hear that people love us, Adam.
Yeah. No, it's like, I don't, you know, like, again, it's like, I don't really know what to say, but I'm saying whatever I think I should say.
Say,
you know,
thank you.
Yeah.
And you all are awesome.
I am like tickled pink.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
That's the show,
I mean, we're just talking about cards and our love for them. And, you know, I apologize, but we haven't, you know, really been on like too much of like rules or stuff like that. But we'll be getting back into that because, I mean, this question was fantastic. I'm glad, Josh, that you brought that up. Like, it's a big deal. It is something that, you know, we want the community's feedback.
Yeah.
But yeah, just keep being awesome. Keep sending in emails, you know. If you need to add me on PTCGO, I'm not the most active, but I'm trying. It's really tough because it's like I get home, I'm like dealing with my son,
right.
And like we're playing, and it's like he doesn't necessarily know how to, you know, work that. Yeah. I wish I had an iPad because that would be fantastic to be able to like.
It helps.
You know, let him like hang on to it and like just slide the cards with his finger. Like he'd know how to do that.
Right.
But yeah.
This has been a show, Adam.
It's been a show.
A great one. Another great episode.
It's been a banger.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys all rock. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. You know, if you leave us a review, awesome. If you don't, just keep listening.
Yeah.
We love you guys regardless.
But we do like 5 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh likes them more than I do.
That's true. How could they reach us, Adam?
They can reach us at specialconditionstcg@gmail.com. You can leave us a voicemail. You can text us. You can send us a picture. 732-835-8639. Yeah, that's pretty much a show. So remember, if you're affected by a special condition, don't forget to use a full heal. Bye, trainers.
Good night.